Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for really what is. I'm sorry to say that we're coming to you with such an unfortunate incident, but we wanted to make sure that you were aware and that you were able to see exactly what is happening on the front line in Las Cruces, New Mexico. This is an incident that took place outside of the so-called Pink House, which is the former Jackson Women's Health Organization that led to the overturn of Roe versus Wade through the Dobbs versus Jackson case. And when they lost, as we know, they fled to Las Cruces, New Mexico, where there are no restrictions on abortion up to the moment of delivery. And now they are performing abortions in Las Cruces. And so we've been out there on the sidewalk and trying to redirect women to compassionate alternatives. Now opening our second Guiding Star location right next door, and there with our Her Care Connection sidewalk interns reaching out and providing alternatives. And this is in just a moment I'll be showing you an example of how they've been responding as more people jump on this live broadcast. Following that, we're going to have an opportunity to speak to Ashlyn, the intern who was shoved. And if some of you may remember, Ashlyn was the intern who moved here from St. Louis, Missouri, and helped to lead many of you through the last fall 40 Days for Life campaign. I was in a car accident when she first moved here, and now this. She's been through the ringer. So continue to keep her in prayer, and we'll get to hear from her in just a second. We'll hear from our attorney, Mike Seibel, on this incident and what this means and how we can respond to this incident and exactly what we can do. And then we'll be talking about a few pro-life opportunities that are coming up soon. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and show this was an incident that took place just a few days ago over this past weekend. And I'm calling her a sidewalk intern. She's actually our intern supervisor who is helping to manage our growing intern program as we expand there in Las Cruces. And you'll see that responded very kind and professionally, really just trying to build relationships and friends. We know multiple times where through peaceful presence on the sidewalk, even abortion workers have converted and left the abortion industry. And so that is always something that our team is working to do is to be that compassionate presence, no matter what we're receiving. However, that was not reciprocated. And as this sidewalk intern reached out to a car that was driving in, you will see what happened. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and show this video. If you have young children, that we have bleeped out a couple of foul words, but just to be aware if there's anyone who may be sensitive to some acts of aggression or censored language.
Hey, I'm trying to make friends with you guys.
You don't have to
hate each other.
Why would we want to be friends with you? Just tell me. And you trying to stop what's coming up here. Why? Tell me why.
Okay, thank you for letting me answer.
Why would we want to be friends with you? Ask me that.
Okay, I think we could be friends.
No, we don't have to.
Okay, so you won't let me answer.
We don't want to be friends with you. We really don't.
Listen.
Come on, baby. No. If you don't put your hands off me, come on, baby. Don't you ever touch me again. Ever. I was right here and you can't bump into me. Don't lie. Do not lie. Now I came right here to make this car come in here and you can't bump into me. I didn't bump into you. You can't bump into me. Now rewind your camera back. And make sure you see what you see. Don't try to delete it like I ran into you. You ran into me.
I'm sorry if I ran into you.
You know you did. You
honestly,
did. My thing is that we can come on this concrete.
I'm sorry if I
My
did.
thing is that we can come on this concrete too.
If you're into me, I wish that didn't happen. I didn't want to run into you. I
But
wanted
you
to
did.
talk to a woman. That's all I wanted.
But you did. You really tried to knock me over.
I did not. I
You
would
know what I'm
never.
saying? Really? You really tried to knock me over, to be honest with you. We can't stop y'all from being right here, but we can stop y'all from touching our property. But you ain't finna knock me off because we got people coming in. You bumped into me, and I pushed your back. I told you got the right one. actually tried to do that. I'm gonna let all y'all know right here. Let me not call you. I'm gonna grab that camera right there.
Okay, so this incident just happened over this past weekend, and as you can see, the abortion worker was standing on their asphalt driveway, and our intern was standing on the concrete sidewalk. And as she approached a car, the abortion worker stepped in front of her path, and causing them to bump into each other, and then shoved our intern into the street, and then began a lot of inflammatory, remarks and shouting. That is not the first time that that type of verbal banter has been expressed towards those out on the sidewalk. So that being said, the first thing I want to do is bring on our Her Care Connection intern supervisor, Ashlyn. And so Ashlyn is joining us. And Ashlyn, I'm sure the first thing everybody is wondering is, if we were in this situation, we would be pretty shook up. And so first of all, how are you doing?
Yeah, well, I definitely think days after the event, it's something that I've been able to really think about and, just really take in what had happened to me. And I think that in the moment, that was something that was just completely shocking to me for the fact that I personally have never been shoved by another who already had been pretty aggressive with me in that moment. And so for me, I definitely think following few days after, it was a question of what the heck just happened? How did that happen? I know that out there, like my intentions are truly just to help those women, and even like the Lord is there to give us love for these workers, and so I'm not out there to harm anybody. And so for me, just yeah, in that moment, it was just completely shocking. And so to recover from that, I think that having a lot of support from the people around me, from the community around me, I think that now I'm doing really, really well. But I definitely think in the moments after, it was definitely very shocking and something that, I had a hard time recuperating from in the few days after, in the sense that is something that has never happened to me before.
Sure. And a lot of people, we have other young adults who are also interns out on the sidewalk, and also were kind of shook up and nervous about, if this is kind of the behavior that's expressed, how concerning is this? And what do you see this as a sign of, if the abortion workers are coming out and getting this confrontational?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would say it's very concerning if, I'm just out there standing talking to the women. Like I think that what we're trying to do is give them another option. Like I think about women who are going into clinics and don't have somebody to give them another way out. And so for me, it's very concerning when I know my intentions, and I even think the workers can see that my intentions truly are to help these women and to try to give them what the support that they might need to make another decision. And so for somebody to actually put their hands on me, I definitely think that, I do think like it's very worrisome when these are the early days of us being out in Las Cruces. Like, is this the relationship that they want to establish with us? Is one where, like they are throwing hands on us? Like, I don't think that that's really the relationship that I wish to have with them. And the good, yeah, I don't see that being good as for just the beginning of us being in Las Cruces.
Sure.
So
And
that
first
answer
of all,
that.
I want to highlight, and I said this to you already, but Ashlyn did everything amazingly. She was kind and compassionate, even in spite of being, spoken to in that way, and even when that incident took place, not overreacting, immediately, reporting the incident, and was very, and police even came out to that incident and said you didn't do anything wrong, and so you did everything great, and so gold stars there. One thing I know, some of our rest of our intern team was kind of shook by this too, and pointing out that that really I see this as a sign of they're getting, if we weren't making an impact, they would just ignore us and not even bother coming out and wasting their time, right? And it's because you're out there, and it's because you're making an impact, and because you're reaching women. And I think we on that same week we had at least one turnaway within those days, wasn't that right?
Yes, yes, we did have one within the internship within those days. And so we are seeing successes still happening out on the sidewalk, and women still are going to, Guiding Star and other pregnancy resource centers after, speaking with us. And so, yeah, for me, it's just evidence that what we are doing out there is we are truly trying to help these women. And so seeing that they are being affected by this, like my question is like, if like we aren't actually helping women, like why do you care, you know, like if like isn't doesn't this make you look better? And so for us, like the only thing that I can come to is that we are being effective, and we truly are seeing that women are able to change their minds, you know, if they want to make another decision, not having received the support that they truly desire and want and need. So that's
Right.
what it.
And you know, one thing I thought was interesting is as that car is turning in, they are seeing the so-called healthcare provider and the so-called professional in scrubs shoving somebody and pulling in, and like I can't help but wonder what is going through the minds of this mind of this woman who is witnessing this unfold as she's about to come in for this procedure, and that alone can be just a witness and a testimony saying like, you know, is this place really where I want to go? If here's someone who's being peaceful and trying to help, and here's someone who's coming out and shoving them.
Yeah, you're so right. Even from like a professionalism standpoint, like that is unprofessional, and that is not how a normal healthcare, in my opinion, acts. You know, I've never seen my doctor, my dentist, somebody who I trust as a medical professional shove another person. So
Mhm. And I just want to reiterate too, you know, one of the things that we've learned over the years, even from former abortion workers who converted, is the impact and the witness of being kind, being professional, being there, being friendly towards even those workers. And you know, we know that the enemy is not in flesh and blood, but is in the principalities. And I personally have seen multiple abortion workers who have left the industry and converted and become pro-life. And it's through that friendly witness and through that friendly relationship, because at the end of the day, they still have a conscience as much as they're trying to ignore it. And when they go back inside, they're still going to feel like a jerk, you know, and over time, there's an opportunity for them to reflect and say, you know, this person really believes what they do because of this witness that they're seeing consistently out on the sidewalk of compassion and love, even in situations where they think I wouldn't have reacted that way. So thank you again for just being such a stellar example. And right now, where are we at as far as having do we have any needs on the sidewalk as far as our coverage and our intern program that people can be aware about?
yes, 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 yes. We are in such a huge need right now, especially because in Las Cruces, we actually are taking interns mainly from El Paso to cover Las Cruces. So there's only about four of us right now. Half of us are coming from El Paso, half of us are coming from Cruces to cover in Cruces. And we still have all of these same interns covering in the Santa Teresa location as well. So that's the thing, is we only have about 6 interns right now, and we have a huge need, and we hope to just give those interns that experience, that training, so that they'd be able to talk to these women and know what to say, know what to do. So I think there's quite a need. So
And we've only got, I think, about half of the hours that we need to cover in Las Cruces covered. Is that right?
yeah, if not under that, like we have
Okay.
about 42%. So
Oh,
we
okay.
are, yeah.
So if anyone is interested, this is a paid internship opportunity. It's a great for young adults have a part-time job if they're really wanting to put their faith in action and live this witness. And things like this are really rare. I want to make that point very clear. In the 9 years that I've been doing pro-life outreach and work on the sidewalk, I've only known of 2 cases where we've seen any kind of physical interactions between workers. And so it's pretty rare. And if anything, I see this, the only other time I saw this sign like this was right prior to an abortion center closing, and they were feeling desperate, and they were feeling the pinch, and that causes their emotions to get high. So I see this as a positive sign, but we need more help. And so if you or anyone you know is interested in really an opportunity to work in the pro-life movement, and part-time, there's flexible hours, and we would love for you to contact us at coalition@southwest.life. You can go to our website at southwest.life and find contact forms and phone numbers and intern applications there as well. So any parting words, Ashlyn, to everybody who how can they be praying for you?
Yeah. I just wanted to say thank you to the community, that's been out there, that, has been supporting me since I arrived. And just, I really do miss seeing the people in Las Cruces, and just praying with you guys. And so I hope to be connected with with all the people in Cruces soon, as well as, now I'm in both areas. And so once again, I'm just thankful. And so please just keep praying that, one, we find more interns, as well as, just give us prayers for endurance and perseverance, because as we are out there, like we are seeing, especially in Cruces, a lot of hostility and a lot of, countering what we're trying to do. And so because of that, we just really would ask for prayers for peace, especially in our hearts, but also peace out of the sidewalk so that this doesn't happen again.
I want to highlight one intern real quick before you, one comment real quick before you leave, from Diane, who says that she saw both of the ladies in the video, you, Ashlyn, and the worker last week on Friday. She didn't realize at the time you were on the pro-life side, because we have a neutral appearance when we're out there with just the vest to kind of reach out in a neutral, compassionate way. But you greeted her politely. However, the other lady kept saying it's business, and I think that's an interesting comment, because as we know that this is just a lucrative, profit-generating business for them. And every time we've seen of the 3 abortion centers that we've seen close in our area, always leading up to that closure, we see them start to get their behavior becomes more erratic and a little more desperate, because they're feeling the pinch, and they know that they're not profitable. So good work, Ashlyn. We'll definitely be praying for you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
Okay, folks. So again, as you see that. Now, one of the things that I know a lot of people have questions about is we immediately have been in touch with our attorney. So we're going to bring on, as you have seen him before, Mr. Mike Seibel with Abortion on Trial in Albuquerque. And so, Mike, how should people be feeling about what they saw just today?
Well, I mean, they should be feeling cautious, but they should be feeling good about your organization. The way that was handled by Ashlyn was incredibly professional. She held her own. She was very kind. She was very nice. In order to be charged with a battery, and I'm sure that's what they were trying to do against Ashlyn, but they have to prove that a person touches you unwantedly in a rude and insolent manner. Well, Ashlyn was not rude nor insolent. But if you looked at the other side, who was rude and insolent? It was the other side in this situation. There was a clear battery committed by the worker. It's a little, how would I say? It's a little unclear if it was, something that arises to damages or a criminal action. But, we're here to protect you. Mark, we've protected sidewalk advocates for a number of years. We protected them against people who are sexually harassing the women that you hired on the sidewalk. Up here in Albuquerque, a woman who's been arrested. We're going to continue to protect the people that go out on the sidewalk. So I would say be cautious, but don't let it dissuade you. We got your back. We'll take care of you at Abortion on Trial if something serious is about to happen. And if this keeps going, we're going to have to sue the Pink House. We're just going to have to go out there, sue them for punitive damages, because then they're getting a little reckless. They're getting a little willful and wanton, mainly because they're a little annoyed, and we'll take care of it. That's the best I can tell you.
Right. Yeah, and this one case in particular, it's like I could see how you have 2 people kind of walking to the same spot. People bump into each other. It happens. Their response was definitely overreaction and unwarranted. But we are documenting all of these things to show a pattern of behavior. So but this is why we need people more involved and out there in prayer and strength in numbers, and showing that if you think you're going to just push us and push us away. You got another thing coming, because if anything, I think more people are going to show up to say, we've got these young adults out there on the sidewalk, and they need us there praying for them in these interactions, because that's how important this work is, and this is how effective they're being.
Yeah, they're being really effective out on that sidewalk. You can tell this lady is frustrated. Although, one other reason that she might be so frustrated is, remember, she's also probably hurt. She's in the abortion industry for a reason. She may have had one on herself. Give her the love and generosity of Christ. That's what I would tell people out there. Give her the break. I know it's hard. I just imagine that those people are telling me I'm really good looking and I tune everything else out. And, that's how I do it. But there's other ways of doing it in this situation. We don't want an escalation. Nationally, we had an escalation in Philadelphia that makes the pro-life movement look really bad. One of the pro-lifers actually attacked a clinic worker for being rude and insolent. And I think it is frustrating the pro-life community generally nationally. not pro-life, pro-choice community generally nationally. We're seeing a lot more incidents of violence on the sidewalk. And the way that Ashlyn handled that was incredibly professional. The simple way is to keep doing your job, have plenty of people out there, and walk away from these people. I mean, they're hurting like everybody else.
Right. Yeah, and I always remind people that's so important, because they are wounded and they are individuals, and we're praying for their conversion. And I always say that's the fastest way to shut down an abortion clinic is when the abortion workers quit and leave. Sometimes just impacting that one person can save more lives than impacting dozens out there on the sidewalk. So we're going to continue to be praying for this worker, for her conversion, and maybe someday she'll be a speaker at one of our events talking about what God did in her life. And
love seems to work that way, Mark. Love always is the better choice in this situation. I think if we respond in love, not only does it give a chance for conversion, but when I'm taking on your case after something a little bit more, how would I put it? A little bit more physically invasive happens, or if a pattern happens, when I show that to a jury, who do you think they're gonna like? Are they gonna like Ashlyn, who's sweet and nice, or are they gonna like the abortion worker who's rude and insolent? And we have to bleep out all her bad words in this situation.
And
so
Ashley, who's literally saying, "I want to be friends with you," and she's saying, "We don't want to be friends with you."
Yeah, it's not going to work out well for them. Those are the things that make big jury verdicts. Is when you have that dichotomy of how people are treating Ashley. She was like baking cookies for the jury in that doing everything right, and the other person, they're looking pretty evil when it comes down to it all. So that's how juries kind of decide these things. And this incident can be used for evidence in future cases against the Pink House. So let's keep building our evidence in this situation. Let's keep loving our neighbor in this, even if they're pro-choice and killing babies and hurting women. We still got to love them to bring them back to our side.
Right. So my call to everybody right now is, again, first and foremost, is we need more interns on the sidewalk. This is a part-time paid job. That is not an opportunity in a lot of cities, but because we have so much support from the Southwest, we are able to really have a good dedicated team of young adults who get highly trained. I'm going to mute you temporarily, Mike. They get highly trained, and they're able to be out there more consistently, put more hours in out there, build better relationships, and ultimately help more women. And so we are in desperate need right now. Please, please, please spread the word that we're needing more interns, especially in Las Cruces, but as well as from the El Paso and everywhere in between. And if you're not able to, or if you don't have that type of time or not able to make that commitment, come out and pray. Even in between 40 Days for Life campaigns, those interns always feel more secure because of the power of your prayer and your presence, and just having another set of eyeballs out there to be there with them and back them up. So when we're out there in numbers, it's less likely that someone's going to come over and engage, because they feel the power of all that prayer. So continue to come out and join them out in prayer. Give them some space so they can do their counseling, but you can be a strong impacted witness there as well. That being said, Mike, is there any other news coming out of New Mexico since we got you on the line with? I know last time we talked, there was this case, about the Comstock laws and the city ordinances. So what's going on in New Mexico? Oh, wait, hold on. I muted you earlier. I was getting some feedback. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay, as I tell you in the earlier broadcast, I live in the best pro-life community in America. Serving you guys out here is just incredible. We still are going down and pursuing this Comstock Act case in the Supreme Court of New Mexico. It's fully briefed. It's awaiting oral argument. In Texas, they just had oral argument for a panel. We'll probably get decisions right around the same time. In Texas and New Mexico, probably be completely opposite decisions. And, everything's going as planned from our point, with Jonathan Mitchell, Mark Lee Dixon, myself representing the cities of Hobbs and Clovis. We expect to lose here. Don't get discouraged, because we got one more court to go after the Supreme Court of New Mexico. We're going to appeal it to the Supreme Court of the United States, and hopefully we'll get a nationwide abortion ban from the Cinderella story of New Mexico.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. And I've been meaning to ask too. I know you recently got some billboards up. Is that something we can talk about right
Oh,
now?
this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, it comes out of a partnership originally from Southwest Coalition for Life, who really brought this idea to the forefront. Hopefully, they'll join us. But we put up 8 billboards in Cincinnati saying, if you're hurt by abortion, call reproductiveinjustice.com. Or not call, but go visit the site or call our number there. We will represent you. We will get you the help that you need. I think this is an incredible step in this situation. Ohio, Cincinnati Right for Life partners with us to put up those billboards all across I-75. So if you're traveling through Cincinnati area, you can see those billboards, or you can go to abortionontrial.com, or Reproductive Injustice on Facebook has those billboards as well. So this, I think, is going to be an innovation for the pro-life movement. Jason Jones says, look, if we can get the greedy trial lawyers involved in suing the abortion industry over chemical abortion, we can shut down the entire industry. And I agree. So I think this is going to be a really interesting time over the next couple of years. We're going to have an opportunity to go after these abortionists that are running an unsafe and unregulated industry and hold them accountable. So I think, especially with some little Comstock twists that are about to come out in some of the cases that we have. So this is going to be an exciting time suing the abortion industry. And I think, just sit back and watch, because we're right on the front lines. As Mark, you said, New Mexico is the new front line of abortion fight in America.
And I'm excited to help make that a reality. I remember when we talked about that and this idea of having, legal support for women harmed by abortion. So many times they don't want to come forward. They don't want to seek this help. They're feeling ashamed. They just want to forget it ever happened. And they're feeling like maybe they're the only ones. But when they start to realize, wait a minute, this is a thing. Other women have been hurt by that. They're feeling strength in numbers. And we've even seen some of the clients that we've helped out of the Santa Teresa area referred to you and being empowered by having that legal assistance. And so being able to make this more widely known. And we have absolutely full plans. We want to put this up and have billboards in between El Paso and Las Cruces, helping women know if you've been hurt by abortion in any way, for all of these different situations, there is support for you. We want to help you. And not only is that going to help them, it may help lead to more abortion restrictions and seeing an end to this, even in spite of the political situation in New Mexico. So this is super, super critical, and it helps plant the seed. Even if someone is not in that situation, they're starting to think, wait a minute, I can be hurt by this. I can be hurt by abortion. I've been told it's safe. So thank you, Mike.
One quick question, one quick point on that whole thing. If we can make this across the country, like Camp Lejeune, we can make abortion so toxic in this situation that, nobody wants to live in near Camp Lejeune anymore. Imagine if we got billboards all over the country saying, are you hurt by the abortion pill? You might be entitled to compensation. You could have that Camp Lejeune effect all over the country. So I think that's an added benefit if we have donors that are willing to step up and do that. And, really make sure, because this is a dangerous pill. Again, even emotionally, it's horrible, because women are not going to they're leaving their houses because that's where they had the abortion. They're seeing their babies and not knowing what to do, or they can't even go to the bathroom. So these are the type of cases that we're looking for in the future to hold the industry accountable.
I love it, Mike. Thank you. And if I was about to say that, if anybody wants to help sponsor a billboard, shoot us an email at coalition@southwest.life, and we will definitely work to make that a reality, because now we're finally ready to have a clear call to action to direct people towards the support they need. So, Mike, God bless you, and thank you so much for everything.
God bless you.
All right, folks. So last thing is I just want to mention a couple of quick events that are coming up in the Las Cruces Diocese. The Catholic Diocese Bishop Baldacchino, along with bishops from the northern parts of the state, is going to be doing a special consecration to consecrate the whole state of New Mexico to the Sacred Hearts. This is going to happen the evening of Saturday, June 17th at 5:30 p.m. And in Las Cruces, there's going to be a mass happening at that time at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. They're going to be praying for a sanctity of human life from conception to natural death, for being conscious to the attacks on the sanctity of life in our state specifically. And so they're inviting you to join in this statewide prayer. And if you are able to join them that evening, again, June 17th, this is the Saturday before Father's Day, on Father's Day weekend, then we ask you to join in prayer, either at that Mass. And I would ask all denominations, all of our, we unite together. And this is going to be a day where everybody can join in prayer, specifically for the atrocities against women and against life in the state of New Mexico. And that same day, if you get up early that morning, around 7 a.m., then you have plenty of time to join our Father's Day Must Dash for Life 5K fun run event. And this is a really fun event on the El Paso side of the state line at Escatete Park on June 17th. You can learn more about that at mustdash.org. And this is a fun dad joke play on words, because this is must dash, as in you must run at .org. And so you can use the promo code for a limited time, IMPACT, to get an extra $5 off the registration fee. And that this event in particular is going to be benefiting us being able to hire our new nurse practitioner, who's going to be able to provide more comprehensive healthcare for women, so that there is less and less of a need for healthcare, so-called healthcare providers that we know just actually seek to alter, suppress, and destroy the normal healthy functions of a woman's natural body, which is, of course, abortion. And so help us to be able to do that by joining our Father's Day 5K. Join a whole team, and there'll be a lot of prizes. It's a lot of fun. There'll even be some prizes for the corniest and worst dad jokes, or the best dad jokes, however you look at that. So again, use the word IMPACT at mustdash.org for $5 off. Email us at coalition@southwest.life if you or anyone you know is interested in joining our efforts, especially in that intern program on the sidewalk, or if you've not joined us out in prayer in the past and it's your first time, we're happy to go out there with you and show you the ropes and make sure you know your legal rights, exactly where and how to pray. And as always, thank you so much for all your prayers and your support. And we will be talking to you very soon. God bless.